Hello. Hi there. I wanted to jump on real quick today. Welcome to my universe, the aromatherapy universe. Anyway, I wanted to jump on here today because I get asked this question a lot, which is, why do I change the formulas? And I don't necessarily mean between people. That to me, that's a given. That is, your body is not my body. And although we may both have eczema, what's at the root of your eczema, or there's other things that are going on in your system that would be different that are going on in my system. So addressing your body individually is the reason why I change formulas between people. There's no one formula that works for everyone. I mean, there's not one client of mine that either I personalize a formula for that gets it from me, or if I consult with them and guide them with the oil selections that they have, or guide them to purchase their own oils, because I don't necessarily supply people with oils. I do not represent a company, just to be clear. Before we go any further, I do not represent a company. I've been doing this for over 30 years. Yeah, I started in 1989. So that's how long I've been working with oils and studying them. So with that said, I do not represent a company. I do stock oils for myself, and if somebody asks me, like I had posted in my story a little while ago, a salve and a blend that I made for somebody locally. He has served in the military, was exposed to heavy metal, and he was in the I forget what branch he was in, but he worked on planes, and so at one point he had been sprayed by jet fuel. So all of that has led to severe allergies and eczema. And the reason this comes up again is because I had already made a salve for him once, which he is thrilled with. It's the reason why he's getting more. It's almost all gone. He was covered, full body eczema, and there's no outbreak going on. There's very minimal. And I've changed the formula on him. And the reason why I changed the formula, and the reason I get asked this question a lot, is because the body is changing. Essential oils contain constituents or chemicals that influence various genetic activity. But the second you introduce the oil to the body, it begins to influence, regulate, improve the way the body's working chemically. Now the difference between the conventional model, which is symptom relief and symptom chasing, is what I prefer to call it, versus the way revolutionary aromatherapy works, is the goal is to empower the body. Let me say that again. The goal of revolutionary aromatherapy is to actually empower the body to do what it's designed to do. It is not, we're not here to control the body. And the conventional model, no matter whether you're taking medications or practicing alternative medicine, if you're just going for the symptom relief, you are attempting to control the body. And unless you change out your supplements or your oils, that's what you're doing. You're like, so I'll give you an example. Bitter orange. Bitter orange actually, hey there. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining. So bitter orange actually influences serotonin levels in the body. And when you consistently use bitter orange to influence, and it's influencing serotonin, it's going to cause changes in the system, okay? It's going to, well, let me put it this way, it's going to continually influence serotonin, and eventually the changes that are going to occur is it's going to lead to, in many respects, a chemical imbalance, because you're influencing serotonin all the time. This is the reason why bitter orange is very highly recommended for depression if you're not taking an antidepressant. If you take an antidepressant, you don't want to use either lemongrass or bitter orange for that very reason. So being cautious about how what chemicals these are influencing is very important. So when we change the chemical, so let's just say, for instance, you do use bitter orange, and maybe and you use it for a few weeks. And in the case of the salve I just made, I changed it because he's been using the salve for a few weeks now, but we don't want to continue targeting. I was asked the other day the difference between a medication and an oil. And the best way I knew how to describe it is this. Medication is very specific in its target. Okay, so they know that an SSRI, for instance, is a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. So it inhibits the reuptake of serotonin and it keeps it in the brain. Okay, that's what an SSRI does. It keeps it in the brain. Hey there, thanks for joining. So it keeps the serotonin in the brain, and that's what an antidepressant does. It keeps the serotonin in the brain. If we keep using that particular medication, so it's like putting the gas on something and putting the brake on something else, because that's how the epigenome works. Every time one gene gets turned off, another gene gets turned on, and vice versa. And this is what medications do, and it's almost like full-on gas and full-on brake on some level, so the body naturally adapts. This is the reason why we find ourselves needing to take additional medications, or the medication no longer is working well, or we're getting more side effects. Okay, when you use an oil, and you can actually have the same influence where you're putting the gas on one thing and putting the brake on the other, but when we change it, well, let me back up a minute. So with the oil itself, with an oil, it contains many chemicals, up to 100 maybe at one point, and so it's influencing the entire system. So whereas a medication is very focused, and oil is a little bit more, no, not a little bit, it's a lot more well-rounded. Yet when we keep using the same oils over and over and over again, like I said, we're putting the gas on one thing, we're putting the brake on the other, and now the body's having to adapt. And this is where we start to find that oils don't work, herbs don't work, or we try them for a while and they no longer work. It's imperative that we change them out, even if it's just one oil at a time. So like I said, if I consult with somebody and they already have their source of oils, I will provide them with information as to what oils they will use, and when they get back with me, we may change it out, or we do change it out for that very reason, because we have to work with the system. So I always want to know what's going on. That is the reason why oils need to be changed out. So like I said, with the salve and the blend that I provided for this gentleman today, it is in fact working synergistically to help alleviate the system, or relieve the system. In the meantime, it's preventing the runny nose and the histamine reaction that he's having with the allergies, and it's also helping the body clear out the eczema, as well as keep it having to flush, just protect it from the heavy metal exposure that he had experienced. So, but in a nutshell, the reason why we want to change oils is for the very simple fact that we're not trying to control the body, we are working with the system. So we start off with a particular blend, 3 to 4 oils max, or well, I like to do 2 blends often. I prefer one that actually focuses on the digestive system, and then one that will support the system restoratively, or if there's a particular symptom that we're dealing with. But I like to work with 2 blends, but never more than 3 or 4 mixed at the same time, because otherwise it's too much information in the body and it becomes overwhelming, and the system will in fact adapt. I won't say it's going to shut down, it's going to adapt, and how it adapts depends on the individual. So that said, it's always wise to maybe go no more than 4 weeks with a particular set of oils and then begin to swap it out. And it doesn't hurt actually to change them out throughout the week. Or give yourself, if you're getting really good results with a particular blend or a series of oils that you're like, change it out after a week and just keep working with it. You can always go back to the original, but you just want to kind of give the body a break and allow it to adapt as it's designed to do. So that's my tip for today on how to use oils, or mildly how to use oils, and why we want to mix them up, because ultimately we're helping the body get to the point where it's functional. I was saying to somebody the other day, because we talk about relieving the stress response, I encourage everybody to be using oils, genuine essential oils, every single day, 2 to 3 times a day. And ultimately, it doesn't make a damn bit of difference which oil you're using at that point, because ultimately what you're doing, and if you change them out on a regular basis, meaning don't work with pre-made blends, work with it, the single notes, and don't mix them up, but just use them 3 to 4 at a time, and then mix them up, because ultimately what you're doing is you're helping to relieve this stress at the cellular level, and at that point the body can reset itself naturally, and it's not going to be as on high alert which is causing a lot of your symptoms. So comment below with any questions if I've said something that you want clarification on. Please, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to guide you into getting the most benefit out of using your oils. Anyway, thanks. I love you. Have a great rest of your Saturday or Sunday, wherever you are, and I'll see you soon.